Hey there, Shecky again with another review response. Again, not disagreeing with anything, just kind of making some additional points here. This video I've kind of wanted to make for a while because, as you can see, I've got some multi-tools here that I've put into various use. And I wanted to make a quick point about the differences between these. I'm going to leave cost out of the effect, and I know that's kind of unfair, but I think it's necessary just to make the point. If you're looking for the best multi-tool that you can get, within reason. I'm not looking for anything gold-plated or whatever, but within reason, something that you could go to a local store and buy and feel good about using. These are some pretty standard options. I was a Gerber guy for a long time, mostly because I was kind of unsure about the mechanism that holds the pliers in place on the Leatherman. This is I've kind of dealt with that, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. Let me just go over real quickly what we got here. This is a pretty standard Gerber. It's the pliers out of the top kind of deal. Got your basic tools. This is an older model. It doesn't lock in any way. The tools don't lock in any way. So I realize there are upgrades to this, but this is the one I have, so that's what I'll be reviewing. The next one, I'm going to go with the other Gerber just for continuity. This is the Gerber Recoil. I don't know if you can see that, the Gerber Recoil. It's called that because it will shoot these out of the top. I bought this primarily for the needle nose pliers, which I use a lot. It's also a big improvement, and I'll talk to this in a little bit, because there's some outside tools that that this particular Gerber didn't have. In fact, all the tools are outside. This doesn't have any kind of fold over at all. And then finally we have the Leatherman Charge. This is the TTI. This is, I think, the newest version that they have. It has the S30V steel. I have employed all three of these at some point, and I feel good about all of them to various reasons. However, there is a clear standout, and as I was saying at the beginning of the video, if you want to have the best multi-tool you can, in a group like this, there's a clear winner. Let me just talk first about this guy. A lot of people love this multi-tool. It's been around for a long time, but I don't think there's any question that there's some real limitations to it. The biggest limitation, I think, is the blade usage. We have the knife here, and I know in response to Nut and Fancy's review, a lot of people commented on this, and I just wanted to go into a little more in-depth, give you a visual. If I'm trying to cut something, I'll just use this, and it's on a flat surface. Actually, I don't need a reference. If you look at that, I don't know if you can see that, but it doesn't, there's no way to get it flat. There's no way to use the entire blade because of the design of this little ridge here, because it comes from the inside. There's no way to employ the whole blade. So really all you're using is this part of the blade whenever you cut. And I understand that that's may not be a big deal to some of you, but man alive, that's a huge issue for me. I'm not a fan of that, and that ultimately led to why I don't use this guy anymore. The non-locking, all those things. Honestly, this is a backup to a backup. I leave this in my wife's vehicle. I usually have a multi-tool on me, but just in case, or if she needs it, it's there. But it's not something I go looking for on a daily basis. These are decent The recoil is very, very gimmicky. It's very hard to get back in once it's out. They tell you to kind of jam it down on something, and I'm just not a huge fan of that. I mean, was for me to be a tool that I use at my work, and so I don't really like that. It's got a little safety mechanism here to keep you from accidentally popping it out. It's got a blade. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's the locking spring mechanism kind of talking to you when you get it out. It does lock. It's got a little lock here. But again, I don't know if you can see that. If I set this blade down, there is clearance below the whole thing. And if I tilt it, let's see if I can get this a little better again. If I tilt it, it doesn't contact the whole blade. I can't get a flush cut on anything that's bigger than this area right here. This little bump here is the lowest I can get, and that's a problem. I want to be able to use my whole blade. If I want to line up, say, you know, several pieces of wire or something and press down and cut it, it just isn't prepared for that kind of work. And again, another issue is to get this guy out, this second blade, I actually have to deploy that blade carefully, pull that blade, and then kind of do the switcheroo. Poor design, in my opinion. It works, I can use it, but I don't like it. You have here the Phillips bit. It's a three-dimensional bit. But it is pretty low profile, so you do have some strength issues. You got this kind of multi deal working here. Screwdriver, can opener, wire stripper combo, and then, oh, I forgot, same thing here. In order to get to this guy, you could probably do it, it's just much faster to go ahead. You got these, I think these are Fisker scissors. Good scissors, I like them. The spring is a little hard, but it's workable. As you can see, this guy will work for you, but it's limited. Obvious winner. I know it's kind of jumping the gun a little bit here, but this guy is completely the coolest multi-tool I've ever had. I used to worry about Leathermans because I thought they were purely friction that it was purely friction that held them open, and eventually that would break down and these would just flop everywhere. But I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can find the spot. Right in here, there's actually a piece of metal that rides across the pliers, and it keeps them open. So there's actually a kind of a retention built into them beyond just the friction of the screws. I'm going to just be quick because the reviews on this are very thorough. First of all, the S30V steel is just awesome. You can see that this blade's seen plenty of action. I use it regularly, from everything from opening boxes to cutting. Great little saw. You got a kind of a metal saw. Never really used it as a metal saw, but have used the file. And then you've got the rescue blade. This is kind of the newer. This is one of the things you can determine. One of the things you can see to determine that this is in fact a TTI, because it's got this rescue hook. Excellent pliers. They've re-engineered those to make them even tougher, and great tools, including little add-on bits. I carry those with me most places, and decent scissors. Everything on here is top of the line, and I love it. And if you have any questions about whether Gerber is superior or whether Leatherman is, just go out and tinker with them. Or if you have a buddy who's got it, take a look at it, talk to him about it. And I think if you mess with theirs and you carry them around for 5-10 minutes, you're going to realize very quickly that there is no comparison. Fit and finish, actual usage, it all belongs to the Leatherman. Thanks a bunch.